Three, two, one. And we're live. What's up, Jimmy? Happy Wednesday, brother.
Happy Wednesday, Richie. It's hump day. You getting any? What's going on?
No, sadly, no, man. I'm
Me
dry
either.
right now. I'm dry right
Yeah,
now. Maybe
the
it's a good
fucking
thing.
It's the fucking Sahara, bro. It really is.
Oh man. Sometimes it's like, man, if you wanted it, you could go get it, but it's probably not what you want and probably not what you need at the time.
It's definitely more than likely not what you need. So, with that said, let's do our opening toast, man.
All right,
Everybody,
dude.
raise your glasses. I got the American honey rocking. What are you sipping on?
Drinking on some beer, brother. Gotta get me some beer in the
Beer,
system. Get me some beer
for
in the
sure.
system. All right, guys. All right. Cheers,
Three,
everybody.
2, 1, salute.
Salute. Nostrovia.
Mm.
How'd that
American
treat
honey.
you?
Watch. Like an ex-girlfriend that isn't leaving me yet.
Oh.
Oh!
She's kind of sweet, but bitter at the
She's
same
still
time.
kind of sweet. That's right. Right. Brings me lunch at work sometimes,
Yeah.
But, you wash it down with a little bit of cold Coors Light and, all the problems just kind of go away for the evening.
Oh, I can hear you there, man. It's civilization would have been nothing without beer. We would have all died of germs a long time ago. It's practically proven.
Yeah, I'm a fan of the sauce myself.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about last time we did this. We were talking about the Sumerians, man. They had 226 recorded beer recipes.
That's a lot.
226. We're talking like the first civilization was the first thing they were like, we need beer, dude. The first thing. Like it was like fucking out the gate. They were
Well,
like,
yeah, you got to think about it. They're in Iraq. I mean, come on. It's hot. It's fucking dry. You got 2 rivers.
probably breeding dissonance or you know what I mean, diseases, all the germs.
Right.
And alcohol cures that. You know what I mean? Alcohol gets rid of all that shit. So.
And alcohol actually helps with, hump day.
Oh, it definitely does. It helps with hump day. Yeah, it helps with your Wednesday undertakings if you're trying to get that today. Definitely does. Get a little wine. You know what I mean? Get a nice dinner done. Yeah, you got your hump
Right.
day. Got your hump day.
Yeah, you put the candles up, get the nice silverware out if you're cooking for her, you know what I mean? She's had a tough day, yada, yada, yada. You're schmoozing, you're asking about her day, and, she's talking to you like, da-da-da-da-da, and Denise this, and, Sherelle just, they just kept going on and on and on, and you're just looking at her like, are you talking circles about these people I don't know? But that's cool, you play it off,
Yeah.
you lean forward, like you're really interested, but you're just thinking about, man, I hope this wine kicks in soon and she gets tired.
No, I
But
hear
isn't
you.
it weird, though, like whenever you put that effort forward, and she's just not having it, and then she's like, oh, well, that meal was great, da-da-da-da-da. And then she's like, hey, I guess I'm going to get ready for bed, and then she kind of like gets ready and gets to go to sleep, and does a rollover, and you're just like laying there like, the Statue of fucking Liberty, and you're like, or are we ringing freedom here, or what's going on? I mean,
man. It happens, dude. It happens, man.
Sometimes you just swing and miss, strike out. Just doesn't always work.
Yeah, dude. It's a possibility, man. You can strike out at the plate, man. Keep throwing them fucking, yeah. Keep swinging and a miss. A swing and a miss. A swing and he's out. He's out at the plate. He swung out. He struck out at the plate. His dick will remain hard tonight. And a possible chance of blue balls.
Right.
So you're talking a little bit about bullying before we came on tonight. Would you like to elaborate on that some?
Yeah, I was just thinking about how society's really changed since we were kids. You know, you used to
Yeah.
have kids that would pick on you or whatever, and eventually it would just turn into a deep-seated social resentment, and then eventually there would come the day where it was just the wrong time, and you finally stick up for yourself, and just, you know, that kid that just keeps pushing you and taking your lunch money, and you know, he may be a grade or two older than you and a little bit bigger, but you know, it just wasn't the fucking day.
Agreed.
You haul
Yeah.
off, and you know, you just start swinging fists wildly. You may not even know what to do, but the sheer fact that you're coming at them with just fierce aggression, and you know, basically drawing that line in the sand, man, it's things aren't handled that way anymore. You know, like people turn to the internet and Facebook, and you know, they live their social structure through a digital medium,
Yeah.
and a lot less face-to-face time. And I feel like that's been very detrimental. You know, we got a lot of people who decide that it's okay to, you know, or for whatever psychopathic reasons, decide to come in and shoot up a school, or, you know, create heinous acts of violence, all because they felt unloved or unappreciated. And, you know, and I can sympathize in some ways, as, you know, I know what that's like to have that kind of mentality, but, you know, there's a thing called a little bit of, you know, just having a perspective on everything, that you can't take it out on everybody given the situation. But, you know, as you grow older and you know, you mature into a, you know, school and go to college and you get a career, right, and things are starting to change, and your life is shifting, and those problems from back in the day no longer are, you know, as meaningful. You still remember them, you know, you'll have a little moment, you know, where you think back to it, and, you know, all of a sudden you'll be pretty much just sitting there doing your thing, you know, you're in your perspective, you know, reality. And, you know, if you ever come across this, where basically you're in your school or your job, and the same kind of thing comes down, you know, people are specifically just rubbing you the wrong way constantly. They're getting over on you. They're not even hiding it. And the dynamic has shifted, you know, as you're an adult, because you realize you have a lot more responsibilities, a lot more things to lose.
You do.
And, you know, that makes it tough, because you can't lash out like you were when you were that kid where you just hauled off and beat the shit out of that dude that's been bothering you. You know, you can't do that anymore. There's too many things that could negatively impact your life. But at the same token, the other side of it is, like, how much is enough? How much does some situation have to just keep pushing you and digging at you and tripping you up and just causing you problem after problem after problem before you have officially drawn that line in the sand again as an adult and had enough, you know? I've seen it time and time again where, you know, a company will take advantage of somebody, and they're just, you know, just every angle they can, just squeezing more and more out of them, like almost a dry sponge, you know, just getting that little drop of life force back out of them. And you know the people I'm talking about, right, Richard? The ones that end up just having crazy hours, and they're on salary, but they're, you know, basically working 20 or 30 hours a week for free, because that's how salary works. And that excuse of a number was just a way for the corporations to, negate paying you for your time. You know, it's institutionalized servitude is what it boils down to. Well, you know, there's this friend of mine, right, and he had been kind of venting to me for months and months and months about this same kind of situation, man. And I won't mention any names, because we don't put people on blast here. We may discuss things that we've personally seen, or, you know, people that we know in real life. So just keep that in mind going forward. And anyway, he's been in the situation of a new career, and, you know, kind of getting a fresh start, and, you know, getting reacclimated to these new sets of responsibilities and duties. And, you know, pretty much from the get-go, he was lied to. You know, he basically told me that this job was going to provide such and such and such, which were pretty critical benefits, considering the fact that, these are things that this person really relied on to survive
Right.
in times where there wasn't a lot of business, okay? And the whole system was set up basically to kind of string them along. And as time went on, he had kind of just, bit his tongue and just kept quiet and kept it to himself and sucked it up. And this went on for like well over 2 years. And I'd been telling him, man, like all along, dude, like, man, you should probably get into something else. It sounds like it's not working out for you. And,
Right.
he tried to take that step of perseverance and positivity towards establishing a way to, just grind through it and, get to that proverbial carrot at the end of the tunnel, like if I just push a little harder, things are going to work out and they're going to be okay.
Right.
Well, this friend of mine and his employer, they had a disagreement about something, and, the paperwork evaluations kind of came back, and, he was passed over for what was due to him, which was a significant raise and, ascension in responsibilities and moving his career forward. And, he took that real personally. We had to go, sit down and talk about it, and just, I let him vent and tell me exactly how and why he was feeling. And, I supported him, you know what I'm saying? Like his feelings were justified in this particular situation. And, I try to spit a word of caution as far as, hey, you don't want to blow up and freak out at anybody. You kind of got to navigate this in a calm, collected manner, even
Right.
if you're going to move on, and we talked about it, and, I didn't hear from him for about 10 days or so. And then I got a call, and he goes, yeah, I really took to heart what you said about sticking up for myself and kind of finding a new path. And it eventually worked out to where, I couldn't go on without acknowledging how bad of a situation I was in and saying it, like it was very important that I said it.
Yeah.
And the consequence of that, given the industry that this unnamed person is in, is that he was actually put on ice for expressing his displeasure and disbelief, and basically calling out the people he was working for basically throwing him under the bus, because that's exactly what happened. It was nothing else short of that. And by him opening his mouth to his boss and expressing in a very professional and calm, collected manner, he was punished for it, you know what I mean? And to see how that transpires in today's society, it's like you can't stick up for yourself. You just have to basically bend over and take it, or you're just going to be without a way to support yourself. And my friend, I really agreed with the reasonings behind it. It made a lot of sense. And, I don't know what's going on from that point forward. I haven't talked to him in a couple weeks, but it sounds like, he's getting ready to move on to bigger and better things.
Right. Sounds great, man. It's
I mean, what would you have done?
Well, I mean, I wasn't in the exact same situation. You know what I mean? I wasn't, but it sounds like he'd gotten pigeonholed. And one of the things I was thinking about as you were talking, people don't realize, like, bullying as an adult is completely different than bullying as a kid. All right? And they're two different systematic sets of things. Like, as a kid, you're kind of taught to you're taught to stick up for yourself. You know what I mean? You're taught to fight back. You know what I mean? And especially if you came from the Midwest or the South, you know what I mean? You're taught to physically fight back. That you should stand up for yourself, and you'll be able to move past this. You know what I mean? And hopefully it doesn't escalate too far. A good fist fight, and it's over with.
Right.
And it used to be the police officers would kind of separate you guys, and they would ref the damn thing. If they caught you.
Right.
As an adult, I can think back to a situation that I was at a poker game. You were there. I was at a poker game where basically we all sat around, we were drinking, and like the guys at the poker table talked a lot of shit, and they talked it towards me. And I don't know either one of these guys. All right? So I told them, you know what? We can go outside and fight. You guys want to talk shit? We can go outside and throw hands. And I was immediately told that they would call the police and have me arrested. That basically they can talk all the shit they fucking want to. You know what I mean? And act
with
like cowards.
with no discourse or consequence.
Right. And the person that would share the consequence would be someone who would actually stick up for them, stick up for what they're trying to prove. You know what I mean? Like, hey, if you want to talk trash, let's go ahead and talk trash. Let's go outside. I had not said a single negative thing to any of those people. At all.
Right.
I didn't sit there and talk trash to those people. I mean, that's kind of a California liberal thing, but, that's the difference, though. Like, them as, like, kids, they probably would have had to fucking face some consequences for talking like that to somebody. Someone would probably hit them in the face, they're about our age. Somebody would hit them in the face. But as an adult, they realize that they can use the legal system to their advantage if somebody was to physically stick up for themselves, for them talking shit.
Right. And even in a like physical confrontation, the consequences of even sticking yourself up for yourself verbally, just in other ways, can be life changing.
Oh, it can end you. It can end you in the wrong situation with the wrong people. Shit, you say the wrong thing to the wrong person, you didn't even have to say it to that person directly. It could end your fucking career.
Right.
That's a big possibility in almost any industry. But that's obvious, though. You know what I mean? And usually you're probably, of course, if we were people that went around and just talk shit behind people's backs, no one would ever fucking deal with anybody. You know what I mean? Like, the world couldn't be ran like that. Your friend probably did the right thing. He at least he took it to the people that it sounds like he took it to the people that he should have taken it to. He thought he was being mistreated, and he had said something about the mistreatment. You know what I mean? He took it as far as he could go, and it turned out that, it backfired.
At some point you kind of got to weigh it too. It's like, is your self-worth and your mental health worth a job that is clearly taking advantage of you? At some point, you have to take that leap of faith to just move on, because otherwise, I mean, what are you really doing? You're sacrificing your self-respect for a little paycheck. Anybody can go out and get a job or whatever and make money to survive, but I think there's a good lesson to be learned here, and that's this, is that you really have to pick your battles. And sometimes the battles pick you, and it's time to go to war. Okay, that's the bottom line, is that it can go like that, and you have to just understand the consequences either way, for good, bad, or worse, before you open your mouth. So before you flip out and like react in a knee-jerk emotional reaction, you need to really take a step back, especially if it's about something that has a large impact. This isn't about arguing over, I got the wrong burger when I went to get lunch. This is real life shit.
Sometimes when I get the wrong burger, and I hate to say this, it sounds fucked up, but sometimes when I get the wrong burger, I keep it because sometimes it's a burger I've never tried. I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to keep the wrong burger.
Right.
I don't even want to argue with these people. They're going to get it wrong again.
Sometimes if that happens, I instantly think of like how I should have gone somewhere else to eat.
Yeah.
And then I have these visions of just like the best Chinese food I've ever eaten in my life.
Yeah.
What's the best Chinese you've ever had?
I've had 2 or 3 different, like, there's 2 different Asian restaurants that I would say were just like, they're not comparable, if that makes sense. Like, one is one thing and one's another thing. But like, I'm a huge noodle fan. And so, like, there's this little noodle house, I forget what it was called, off Caraway in San Diego. It's fucking fantastic. It's like it was an amazing ramen joint, and I was like, I really fucking loved it. Um, Always everything was fresh. All the noodles were made prepared. You know what I mean, by hand. None of this little baggy pack stuff. You know what I mean. Get a big
Right.
miso bowl. You know what I mean, with some pork. I mean, just some fucking delicious shit. And you probably know my other favorite.
Oh, I know your other favorite.
You know my other favorite.
You know why I know your other favorite?
It's your favorite.
Because it's my favorite too. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls from all around the world. One thing that Richie and Jimmy know is good fucking food. And if you ever want to have the most stellar Chinese meal that you have ever eaten in your life,
and you can get more than just Chinese food there.
And it's not just Chinese food.
Yeah.
But I'm going to go ahead and say, and someone correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the best fucking Chinese restaurant in America. Right here, right now. For all of you folks listening in the Chicagoland area, if you go to 57th Street in Kedzie in the southwest side, you, yourself, and your family can enjoy the exquisite, the spectacular, the flavorful, and just mouth-watering fruits of Chai Tung.
That place is fucking amazing, and everything's fresh. That's just like the. It doesn't look like because like we both had these like these conversations back and forth for you folks at home. Like, there's so many chain restaurants when it comes to Chinese food that it almost blends together at some point in time. If you know what I mean, like it's like, oh yeah, I went to Green China today. You mean you went to China King or China Queen or China Walk, and it's all literally the same franchised food. Like if you went to one place, you've been to all of those places.
Right.
And when you go to Chai Tong, you can tell like all the vegetables are hand cut because there's like little imperfections in them. You can tell that like all the food's prepared, you know what I mean, right there pretty much. Or they have an outsource that's like really fucking close, that they work really fucking close with. Because it's just fan-fucking-tastic. It's amazing. Like their sweet and sour chicken, it tastes like fucking, it tastes way better than any other sweet and sour chicken. It doesn't taste like that you know that orange, that pinkish mess that you fucking wind up getting at like half the fucking Chinese food restaurants in North America?
Yeah.
It's not like that. It's not like that. It's real. I always questioned that pink mess. I always thought that might be urine from the Easter Bunny. Like he just fucking pisses out some sweet and sour hot shit, you know what I mean, that fucking comes out his dick. And he's like, well, I'm the Easter Bunny. Here's your sweet and sour chicken, motherfucker.
Right.
Their General Tso's, dude, the fucking, dude. Oh, man. The peppers, oh, dude. It's amazing. Fresh cut, green bell pepper, yellow bell pepper, it's just amazing. And it's not like, I mean, it has the same, it has the same idea, the flavor text, ideas behind it as like all the other stuff you're used to, but it's just so much better. It's so much more fresh. It's like a person prepared this for me. Instead of this came in a bag, I heated it up in some kind of element and then reserved it to me.
Right.
It doesn't taste
feel like you're
that.
Getting the actual prepared element of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Fun fact. General Tso's is a Taiwanese dish. Fun fact.
How about those fucking egg rolls, dude?
Oh, my God. Okay, you guys got to hear this, dude. So they got these egg rolls at this fucking place, all right? They're like spring rolls, all right? So like imagine like a spring roll, but a little more, that flakiness, you know what I mean, that you get from a good spring roll. Not that MSG fucking whatever the fuck junk that you find at like Panda Express. But dude, a good spring roll, you know what I mean? Get the solid spring roll, and it's filled It's got like the cabbage and the, you know what I mean? It's egg roll, you know what I mean? And it's filled with shrimp. These little beta shrimp, you know what I mean? Like, and just filled with it. And just like, it's the most amazing thing ever. It's heavenly. I mean, it is straight heavenly. And you buy it and want it, like, that's the real fucking like delicacy level shit. Like, every time you go there, you have to order double, triple egg rolls. Because, like, you're gonna want one for breakfast in the morning. You're gonna want one for like a little bit of your lunch the next day. You're thinking about these egg rolls all the time, and like it's food heroin. Like it's the food equivalent of heroin. Like, you're gonna have to take a nap after you eat this shit. I know it. And you're just gonna fucking go down for. It's gonna be like Mike Tyson hit you back in the heyday, and you're just like woo 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 boom boom boom, going down. You know what I mean? But dude, it's so fucking worth it. It's insane. It's insane. But
yeah.
remember, guys, this is like, if you're trying to lose weight and shit, like, this is ultimate cheat level fucking fat kid shit. Like,
This is not what someone on a diet should be eating.
no, this is like the once a month fucking. Well, they do have a Chai Tong in fucking Chicago. We should probably go there.
Yeah, I'll be in Chicago and have time for lunch.
Yeah, that's what that is. You know what I mean? That's what that is. You know, this is not your. Yeah, this is KO food. This is real deal. Like, you've been KO'd food. The
Night.
night. Oh man. So yeah, man, I was thinking earlier. So like me and you, we've always gone over, you know. Oh, and okay, before I change subjects, very important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very important. All right, if you guys have great restaurants that you think are the best restaurants you've ever been in, you know, been to, in the genre of restaurant we talk about every week, I want you guys to leave them in the comments. Like, that's really important to me, because me and James, we love to eat. We love to try new stuff, like try new food. Hell, if you can find a place that's better, I'm fucking signing up. You know what I mean? Like, you got me fucking signing up. You know what I mean? I want to go there. I want to eat the food. I want to try the food. You know? Dude, to think about it, man, there might have been some really great places on Convoy we never even tried. You know what I mean? Like, and that's a huge fucking, it's an Asian town. You know what I mean? There's a lot of great fucking Asian town fucking places, you know, throughout the country. But yeah, dude, Chai Tong, like, dude, it's just that one of a kind, like, from what I've seen and found and eaten, it's like that one of a kind diamond. You're just like, okay, all right. So, I want to get some suggestions from some people on some Greek places we should try to eat, because I've never really eaten much Greek food. Like, as much Greek food as I've ever tried in my entire life has been like gyros.
A gyro?
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, from like a place that's not a really Greek restaurant. You know what I mean?
Right.
From a place that's just kind of like, they got gyros there. They got other stuff. You know, like an Uncle Sam's in Chicago, or like, there's like a lot of places in fucking California too. You know what I mean? But
Uncle Sam's is great too. That's a great sandwich shop.
That place is fantastical and cheap. Insanely cheap for what they sell.
Yes.
Insanely cheap for what they sell.
I mean, their fries, dude. It's uncomparable. I don't know what the fuck it is, but those are the best fries in America.
They have some. I will agree. They have some damn good fries, dude. The place is like, it's like a hole in the wall. You know what I mean? It's just a shack. It's literally like a
Pretty
shack.
Much.
You know what I mean?
Dude, it looks like a shed.
It does. It literally looks like a fucking. Oh, let's go store our stuff in there for the fucking winter. You know, let's go.
And it's like you walk in, you smell it, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm hungry.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. Dude, Uncle Sam's is like, it's like that spot you're like, okay, man, I want a little steak sandwich. You know, get me a, you know.
And dude, for like $7.50, you get a fucking foot-long deal with a whole bunch of stuff, big thing of fries.
Yeah.
It's a good deal. It's fucking delicious. there's a common theme here, you know, because three of our of the well, we've only talked really about 3 food types so far, but they all seem to be in the Windy City. Now, guys from Chicago, gals, can you tell us why it is your food out there is so much better than the rest of the fucking country? Now, there's one thing that you have not beaten out on, and you probably won't beat. I'm going to go ahead and say that. I'm going to go ahead and plug Vallarta here. You know, let's talk about some Mexican food.
They can't even mess with that.
I don't think you're on Vallarta level, man. You don't have the red sauce combo, the fresh guacamole, and the fact that a $7 burrito is literally 3 fucking meals. Like, it's a great value.
Well, dude, I don't think Chicago's a bad place for seafood too, though. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
You can get better seafood in fucking New Orleans. You can't really fuck with New Orleans style fucking cooking outside of New Orleans either. Like, because that's just like their own fucking thing. But yeah, you can't beat the coast on seafood. You know what I mean? Like, they're in the middle of the country. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
So, like, I've eaten sushi in the Midwest, but dude, sushi on the coast is like, all right, you got some fucking sushi. It's way cheaper too, you know, because they're right there. They're right there. Dude, Vallarta though, man, Vallarta.
Oh.
Like, we literally
carne asada burrito.
Me and this dude used to live. Me and Jimmy used to live, like we could walk there. You know what I mean? Like, it was within like less than half a mile.
Yeah, it was probably about a half mile.
Half mile? About a half mile?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, right at the edge of the Target parking lot.
Basically. Yeah. That might be too much. It might not have been that long. I mean, it could have been a quarter mile, but dude, it was close. The thing is, man, they just beat the shit out of everybody in the competition.
Dude,
the sauce.
For $7, okay, watch this. $7. You could get either carne asada burrito, you could get a fucking chicken chimichanga, you could get a fucking, and we're talking like 4 pounds of fucking food. And just the burrito, okay? And then you could up it, pay another $1, and get like a full gigantic side of rice and beans with cheese on them. And an extra side of guacamole for another $1. And it was
you're literally
that's your food
spending
for the day.
less than $10 and you're
food for the day.
You're 2 big meals out of it easy.
Yeah, it was astounding, man. It really was, man. Like, I would just be like, holy crap, I couldn't believe. And I remember the first time I tried a fucking carne asada burrito from there. And I think I like.
You weren't. I'll be honest, man. I was in the car because it was you and me, and I was like, "No, man, trust me." And you weren't really a believer at first until the experience.
It's true. I was like, "No, I've had some pretty good Mexican. This isn't going to be like that much of a. You know what I mean? Like, I remember after eating that first burrito, being like, "Man, red and green sauce all year round, like it's Christmas." You know what I'm saying?
I'm telling you. Hey, you remember what I said to you? I was like, did I lie to you about Little Frank's? Did I lie to you about Chai Tung?
Nope.
My friend, this is it for Mexican food. I'm sorry.
Dude, it was so crazy because it was so close to the house. That was the craziest part about it was it's so close to the house. It was like, you know, it was almost like a curse because it was like at least once or twice a week.
You know, when you live in apartment 13...
Oh man, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that in a few minutes.
Yeah, we're gonna transition into everything that has gone down.
No. We're gonna really get into the apartments because of where they're located and who lived in them. Do you remember who lived in the apartments?
Yeah.
Yeah. And we had no idea until we were moving out. Like, literally, it was the week we were moving out, like a few days before the neighbor brought it up. And we were both just like, you were like, bro, because, like, you went and hung out and I was trying to take care of some things. I think I was like, we tried so hard to clean those carpets and shit. You know what I mean? I think I was cleaning the
Right.
carpets, something dumb. You know what I mean? I get.
But you know how it is. An apartment, they're going to say everything just to
I
keep
know,
the security
man.
deposit. You're not getting
Man,
that money back. It's
I
an
was just
extra
trying.
fucking.
I was
It's like an
trying.
extra, you know. But that's the thing, you know. All you scandalous motherfuckers out there that lease apartments, dude. Fuck you collectively for screwing out so many people out of an extra fucking $500 or $1,000 when they're trying to move and shit. You know, you guys are fucking scumbags. For real. Like, I'll just go ahead and throw you all on blast. I don't care how many millions of you there are. You guys are fucking dickheads. And I'm saying that for every other person that ever had to rent an apartment, who couldn't afford to lose the security deposit, clean that place top to bottom for days, trying, and you just check some crap off on this little sheet, and somehow it sticks up in the court of law. Fuck you from the bottom of my heart.
Dude, I remember when I moved out of the apartments in Missouri, man. I had scrubbed and I repainted the fucking place. I had repainted it, dude. Like, I had went that far. In the long story short is that the security deposit wasn't even mine. It was my father's, you know what I mean? Because he had originally lived there and he had already moved to Tennessee. And so I was living up there. I repaired, you know what I mean? Repaired a bunch of the shit in the place and fucking really, like, everybody I knew was like, oh my God, I can't believe this place is looking this good. And especially like after all the smoke damage that had been, you know the story. But,
yeah.
You know, the place looked amazing. No security deposit back. You know, was never going to happen. But yeah, man, back to the apartments in San Diego. All right. You want to open this up with the,
Where do we start?
Well,
this is a big story. This story is far bigger than just an apartment, man.
It's so
You
much
know.
bigger. It affects absolutely everyone who could ever listen to this. I can make that
Yeah.
blanket statement because it's absolutely true. I have never made that kind of blanket statement ever. Like, but no, this actually, where we wound up living, the apartments we wound up living, affected at one point in time every person who's lived in the United States and possibly the world. So we had a neighbor next door. He's a great African American guy. You know what I mean? Really cool fucking dude. We never really hung out with him though. You know what I mean? We were always busy doing video projects. We were working in video. We were working in audio.
Yeah, but we'd always step outside, have a smoke, you know, and drink a beer. He would be out there with his, you know, his girl and his kids, and
he was cool.
we'd say hello, and
He was cool.
you know, chopping up for a little bit.
You know, but it wasn't like we were like tight until like probably the last couple of weeks we were there. Like we all kind of became. It's kind of like one of those weird things. Like we all kind of became tighter. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
One of those things, you know. And
Only thing I remember about him was that he's from Baltimore. That's the only thing I remember.
Right. You know, I like a lot of people from Baltimore too. I've met a couple great guys, you know, spearhandedly that came from Baltimore that I really liked. But yeah, dude, you were more focal to this story and getting to find out what actually happened than I was. You know what I mean? I kind of found out secondhandly from you, and I was like, holy cow, you know? So let me start this out kind of by saying, okay, across the street, okay, we lived on Beadnell Lane in San Diego, in Claremont Mesa. All right. And basically, if you turned out on the main through, over down the road to the right is a mosque. All right, which that's not a big deal. You know what I mean? I support all religions, and I believe that everyone has their, you know, especially in this country, we are given the freedom of religion, and no one should be prevented from practicing their religion, as long as we're not all trying to hold that against one another. You know, I can't hold my beliefs against you. You can't hold yours against me. Which means freedom to me, you know. And so there's this mosque across the street, all right? And I never really gave it two thoughts, you know. And one day I'm just like kind of sitting here, and James comes back from our next door neighbor's place. And so like kind of like let everybody in onto, you know, kind of how everything unfurled and, you know, what was kind of said, and probably the shock on your face. You know what I mean? Just like the at least momentary disbelief.
Yeah, that was one of those wow moments.
Yeah.
You should kind of keep building the story a little bit and let them understand what the dynamic at play was.
Okay, so like, we had just lost a big business deal, and basically lost $5,000. You know what I mean? We lost $5,000 to the business kind of overnight. And that's not to say like this happens in business all the time, but it was at a very critical moment. All right. And we're kind of like going back and forth. We're hanging out with some friends. You know what I mean? And we kind of realized like we're about to have to move. You know what I mean? And my thought is, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna move back to the South, and James is gonna tough it out in San Diego. All right, and we got like 2 weeks left till we have to move.
Yeah, we had a 2-week notification.
2 weeks notification. All right, and basically, we find out we're like, James finds out we're basically in the most, maybe some of the most infamous real estate ever. Okay?
Yeah.
Like some of the most infamous real estate ever. Some of the most infamous people of all time probably lived in our apartment. Our apartment, our neighbor's apartment, and his neighbor's apartment. The most infamous people of all time. And I want you guys at home, you know what I mean? You guys listening to this, I want you to just think for a minute, like, well, who the hell could that be? Who are the most infamous people to live in America in the last 20 years? The most infamous people in America in the last 20 years. I want you to really give that some thought for a second. Because that's really important when it comes to this story. And so, you want to take over? You want me to tell the whole thing? You want me to take over?
You tell the whole thing, because I'll be honest, ladies and gentlemen, I am not the guy with long-term memory.
So basically, James comes back from the house, back from our neighbor's house, right? And he's been talking to our neighbor for a while, and he goes, "You're never gonna fucking believe this." And he starts it off like this. This is the greatest part of it. Like, he starts it off like this. He goes, "Did you know that the 9/11 hijackers went to the mosque across the street?" And I go, "What?" I'm like, he goes, "Yeah, the 9/11 hijackers, 9 of them went to the mosque across the street. That's where they worshipped at, was the mosque across the street." And I go, "Whoa." I go, "Whoa." And he goes, "That's not it, though. They most likely, 3 of them lived in this apartment. Our neighbor's apartment and his neighbor's apartment."
Right, like our whole building.
And I'm just like floored. Like, just like, this is where the fucking hijackers dwelled at.
Yeah.
And we've been staying here the whole time. Dude, that,
Well,
we should have gotten fucking something for that. Like, because that's basically the equivalent of somebody died in your house.
Yeah.
And not disclosing it. You know what I mean? I mean, that's some crazy shit.
It doesn't surprise me, given the whole circumstance of everything. The whole fucking place was cursed.
Yeah.
To me.
I mean, it was bonkers.
It
man.
was a very, very dark chapter in my life, personally.
You know, it's well,
Terrible.
you know,
there's a lot of shade hidden out in the open under the sunlight.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lessons to be learned there, man. There was a lot of lessons to be learned.
Definitely.
There's a lot of lessons learned. You know.
It was definitely a learning experience.
You know, people will kick you in the nuts, and when they kick you in the nuts, they might try to do it twice.
Most of the time.
Most of the time, I'll Rochambeau you for it. You know.
Rochambeau you.
I'll Rochambeau you for it. I kick you in the nuts, and you kick me in the nuts. Whoever's left standing is the winner. I go first.
You get ready to, and you set up like the fucking, like the kicker, you know what I mean? Like you're getting ready for fucking kickoff, and you're like taking your step back and doing your routine, right?
Yeah.
And you take that running start and then like slip, and you don't actually kick the person in the nuts. That counts.
Yeah, that counts.
That counts.
That counts. Yeah, you slip and fall. It's your fault. It's your fault.
Right.
You fucked up. You fucked up.
You fucked up, kid.
You fucked
you
up,
didn't
kid.
see me throw those little salt granules in front of you, so you'd slip.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, the 9/11 hijackers, bro. They straight up probably, some of them lived in that apartment we were in.
Yeah. Yeah.
What a crazy dynamic, dude.
Yeah, dude, it's just so crazy to think about it. And we learned about it.
What are the fucking odds of that happening?
Not very likely. You know what I mean? There's only so many hijackers, you know?
Right.
There's a lot of fucking ground to cover through that motherfucker.
And there's a lot of apartments.
Yeah. I mean, in that entire area, there's probably like 1 million apartments. You know? Yeah, it just so happens, you know? Yeah, it's fucking nuts, man. It's crazy to think about. It's definitely one of those things that kind of keeps you up. You're like, well, shit, that's fucking I remember there's a few nights that I think about it at night. I'd be like, dude, am I staying right where, you know, these people who committed the biggest catastrophe in American history, am I sleeping right where they fucking used to dwell?
Yes.
You know, I'd seriously think about it. One of the biggest catastrophes. Well, definitely in modern history, it outweighs everything. You know, they hit the mainland.
Definitely.
The only thing it even compares is homegrown terrorism, like the Oklahoma City bombing. You know,
yeah.
Timothy McVeigh.
Rogue Army guy who just snaps.
Well, I don't think he even snapped. I think he fucking... I mean, you got to think about what during that time really was. Like, there's more white supremacists probably in the country then than there were now, you know?
For sure.
There was... Ruby Ridge had happened. Not that many years before that. I don't know if you know what Ruby Ridge was. At all, or if any of you guys at home know what Ruby Ridge was. But Ruby Ridge was basically the government basically entrapped a guy. I can't remember what they exactly entrapped him for, but basically this guy lived on a mountaintop, so his whole family wouldn't have to fucking deal with nobody. You know what I mean? He just wanted to be lifted off the grid, raise his family. He thought that God, you know, he's a very God-fearing, you know, I hate to say it, probably overzealous person. Spent some time in some of the wrong circles, but he really wasn't a part of them. He kind of liked them because they were the fringe. And they basically entrapped him on, it was some kind of gun situation, but it wasn't like basically they talked him into selling guns somehow. Somehow they talked him into, I don't remember exactly what happened. But they basically, the ATF, the fucking motherfuckers invaded the compound. And they wiped out everybody. Basically people that were just going to leave everyone alone. And
that's not the same thing as Waco?
Oh, yeah. This is before Waco, though. This is before Waco. So
Gotcha.
this is before Waco. This had happened, and
You
then
see the
Waco,
pattern setting?
and then Waco happened, and then Timothy McVeigh blew up the federal building. So it was kind of an escalation thing. That's what all these supremacists thought. They thought there was an escalation of government oppression.
Force.
Yeah. They thought there was an escalation of government oppression, and that's when they, blew up the government building. That's what they believe in their head. Sick fucks. You know what I mean? You don't blow up a fucking daycare and fucking literally, half a building worth, giant building worth of people.
Right.
You don't do that. But that's what he thought. That's what, people are fucking crazy. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
People get crazy.
It's a weird world.
It is a fucking insane world, man. Fucking really insane world.
Word of advice, folks. Don't move into apartment 13.
Yeah, don't get an apartment off Beatonell Lane in San Diego. In Claremont Mesa. Don't do it.
Nope.
High likelihood that you're getting one of those apartments.
Shout out to the Barney Stone.
I definitely kissed the Barney Stone. Looks scary though, man. What if I fell over? What if you fell off the castle?
Oh man, that place had that just weird wet sock smell to it when you walked in. It was real moldy.
Does it?
You didn't remember that?
Oh,
dude,
yeah.
Every time we went over there to get drunk, it was just like there was, like something was fucked up.
Oh, you're talking, yeah. For some god awful reason, I thought about the Blarney Stone in actual Scotland. And was like, oh, yeah.
No. We're talking about
the bar?
The shitty wannabe bar pub over there right next to, the fuck was the grocery store?
It's over by Vaughn's.
Was it Vaughn's?
Yeah, Vaughn's.
Okay, yeah. So in that little strip mall.
There was Vaughn's and...
Man, that place stunk.
Anyways, yeah. No, you're right, dude. And then you had to smoke outside.
Right.
It's like, geez, dude. You fucking for real? Like, I don't even
Some
smoke.
people couldn't even pee in the bathroom, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
They waited until they went somewhere else to crash because they were too fucked up.
Oh, no! Yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of something.
Do we go there?
Yeah,
do we do it?
Let's go ahead
Should
and
we go there? All right, let's go there. Well, you have to open this story, okay?
Okay.
Mark this on your calendars, dudes, of odd situations with females, because this is by far the weirdest thing that has ever fucking happened to me. Well, okay, I take that back.
Maybe not the weirdest, dude.
It's in the top 5. I'll tell you some of the other ones later on down the line, the more time on air we get. But go ahead, man. Let them know.
Dude, okay. So we're starting out, all right? So me and James, like, we're kind of known for it. We like to party. Let's not get it twisted, you know what I mean? Like, we like to drink. We like to hang out, you know what I mean? And, dude, at other times, you know what I mean? I just want to fucking chill and fucking... James decided he was going to call it... he's going to call the night early, you know what I mean? And I had kind of just been like, man, I'm just going to sit on the couch, and I'm going to watch some movies. I fucking just crashed out on the couch. In fact, I crashed out on the little couch, which is, I don't even fit on the goddamn thing. I was tired. You know what I mean? I was just tired as fuck. So I crashed out on this little couch. All right. And our roommate at the time, you know what I mean? Not going to name names. Our roommate at the time, he knew he was going to move out sooner than we were going to move out. So he was going to a college, you know what I mean? He's going to go complete a program, whatnot. And so he goes out and drinks with some of his friends. Okay, so he goes out and he goes out to this bar called the Blarney Stone. All right, it's like a block and a half from the house. It's not very far at all. You could easily fucking walk there and walk back if you wanted to. No problem. And so I'm snoozing away. I suppose James is upstairs. He's probably zonked out. You know what I mean? James is probably snoring fucking, just, you know what I mean? He's fucking sawing logs and shit. All of a sudden, I get woken up. All right? It's probably like 1 o'clock at night. And I get woken up by some chick I've never met in my life, shaking me on the shoulder, going, hey, you got some weed you want to smoke with me? Do you have some weed? And I go, who are you? And our roommate, he chimes in, he's like, oh, she's a girl I met at the bar. I said that James could probably smoke her out if she came back to the house. And I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like my first thought, I just wake up. I'm just like, what? You thought that James... I'm like, all right. I'm like, no, I'm not him, man. He's upstairs. He's sleeping. And without missing a fucking beat, this girl pretends like I don't even exist and takes off running upstairs, searching every bedroom for James, a person this chick has never met in her life. And at this point in time, I'm just like, what the fuck is going on?
Let me pause for a slight disclaimer here. I want to point something out, okay? And the reason that this story is about to make you go, wow, is that when I moved out there, I was not ready to move out there. I did not have enough money saved. I did not have anything coming in. It was an extremely taxing financial time.
We just lost $5,000.
And so for the first, it was 94 days that I was in that apartment, and I counted before I actually had a bed. This is critical. Continue.
All right. Also, we had just lost $5,000. It was about...
All this had happened in the same week.
We just lost $5,000 worth of work. A bunch of things had happened. And then, all right, so this chick wakes me up, and I'm just like, my name's not even James. You know what I mean? Like, I'm rich. I don't even smoke weed. I don't even get high. You know what I mean? I'm like, I don't even get high. Like, he's upstairs. And I chime in with like, dude, he's asleep. And she's already taken off upstairs like I never even existed. Like, she didn't just wake me up on the couch and ask me to get her high. That's how fucked up this chick is. Like, she's so one-track minded. She's like, that guy didn't exist. He don't have weed. He's not real. And so she goes upstairs and wakes James up. All right? And I'm like, only thing that's going through my head is like, what kind of ignorant shit is this? You know what I mean? Like, I tried to get her to not go up there. I told her he was asleep, Anyways, James has got a smile on his face like he's been gifted by the gods or something. You know what I mean? Like, Jimmy's probably thinking, well, hey, maybe I can fucking, get a good, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, man, I mean, when it walks in your door, right?
Yeah, dude. I mean, hey, man, I don't blame you.
What I'm saying, like, that doesn't happen very often.
Oh, no, it doesn't ever happen. Not like that. It don't ever happen like that.
Not for us.
You never
met
met
happen for some of you other fucks out there, but not us.
You never met them before. Fucking, they're walking straight in the door. You know what I mean? You didn't even have to set up or have any game or anything. They're just walking right to the door. No, man, that doesn't happen to anybody. You know what I mean? And if it was possible it could happen to somebody, that person has security. You know what I mean? Like, that person has security. And, so I remember, like, you wake up, there's like a whole house. Dude, there's like fucking 6 people, and like half of them, I don't even know. My room, the other roommate's there. And like, there's like the 2 people I know. Basically, the one guy that I know is the guy who brought the chick back from the fucking, you know what I mean? Homeboy was trying to fucking make a layup, for the dude that me and him both knew. You know what I mean? He was trying to make a layup. And then, That's not the way it went down at all, though. What happened was she went outside and got high with you, and then she became the most loopy person anybody had ever met ever. Like, she was already
Yeah.
kind of nuts and bonkers, and then like you had just had like by the time you got through all that, like you were just like, well, uh, I'm gonna go back to bed. You know what I mean? And you went back to bed, and then the following happens. She stays downstairs for another 10 minutes, just bouncing around everywhere. And then I'm thinking she's going to the bathroom to probably throw up. But that's not what happens. That's not what happens at all.
No.
She goes upstairs and proceeds to go into James's room. And I'm thinking, well, maybe fucking Jimmy's getting some pussy. Maybe Jimmy's getting some fucking pussy. Maybe for once, this all fucking, this whole little correlation situation wound up, you know what I mean? Gets this chick high. She goes upstairs and, the rest is fucking history. That's not the way that went down at all.
That's not how it went down, and I'll take over from here because I lived it.
All right.
So, I sleep with my door closed, right?
Yeah.
My door flies open, bounces off the wall, makes a big noise, right?
Yeah.
And I had just fallen back, like I'm out of it to where I don't hear anything, and then bam, awake like a car accident.
Yeah.
She's standing over my bed and literally passes out standing up and just dead body, statue style, boom, right into the bed. I'm like, okay, yeah, you're on the borderline of like, probably need to throw up, so, okay, well, you should like not fall asleep right there, like here's a spot and I'll just deal with this and tomorrow you'll go away and it won't ever be anything but something we could laugh at now.
It won't be a problem in the future.
It won't be a big deal. No problem. No harm, no foul. Oh, man, was I wrong. Boy, was I wrong. So, it was approximately 3:30 in the morning when that went down.
Yeah.
And about 8:15, about 5 hours later, give or take, I get shook and woken up.
Yeah.
And I'd been fucked up with everybody, too. So this is where it gets bad, and I'm a heavy sleeper. Definitely not ready to get up yet. And she goes, so I passed out in your bed.
Yep.
Right? And I'm like, I'm aware of that. She's like, well, I actually did something else in your bed. I was like, oh, really? And about the time I'm starting to realize that, the blanket's wet. My pajamas are wet.
My God.
She goes, yeah, well, it turns out I peed in your bed. And so can you take me home now? What? Are you serious?
Wait.
Did this really go down?
Wait. You gotta fucking, the breakdown of the whole situation. This chick randomly shows up, runs into your fucking room, wakes you up to get her high.
Yes.
Is like, I got a boyfriend. You go to sleep.
Yeah, totally.
You go to sleep. Okay? You go back to bed. You go to sleep. She runs into your room like a goddamn car accident. Okay? Crashes your fucking shit. Falls in your bed. You're like, fuck it. I'll just let her fucking...
style to where I wasn't sure if we should call an ambulance and go get her stomach pumped because that girl was like... I thought there was a decent chance she died right there. Like, not even joking.
Just like
it
wham.
It was literally, like, good thing she fell onto a bed because if she'd been by stairs or anything else, she would have got hurt, like, bad. Because it was not... It was just like all systems, boom, shut down.
Oh, man. She just like, lights out. Dead.
Yeah.
At 11:56, we, you know. Dude, that's crazy, man. So what'd you do from there? Like, what did you do from there? Like, this chick wakes you up and she's like,
Well,
I need you to
the
take
only
me home because I pissed in your fucking bed and ruined your bed.
well, the first thing I thought of was shock, because it was all kind of clicking as I was becoming more consciously aware.
So you're
right?
covered in pee.
I'm covered in that
You're
isn't
covered
mine.
in piss. Yeah,
Yep.
you're covered in some other
Yep.
person
Absolutely.
you don't know. Somebody you don't even know.
Never even met. No.
You're covered in their piss.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. Right on the bed.
So what'd you do? Like, did you take a shower? Did you?
I grabbed a bunch of towels and I made her start cleaning it up. Freaked out. And I was still a nice guy and I took her home. In retrospect, I shouldn't have done that. I should have made her do the walk of shame. But I could tell she was embarrassed and felt bad. Everything had already gone to hell anyway. And it was like the last, real good kick in the nuts that, life had been dealing me at that time. And man, it was pretty tough to deal with. Yeah, that was 94 days of sleeping on a little sleeping bag with a pillow and just toughing it out because my mindset was this place isn't going to break me. I'm going to get through everything. But at that exact moment, I was broken, man. I still remember this day quite vividly of like, it's never going to go away. I'm always going to be reminded of that. And I can't take this with me. So you remember that, us carrying it to the dumpster?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Man,
I remember that.
Fucked up day.
I remember you being like, fuck it, man. Don't even get to keep my fucking bed.
Nope.
You're like, I just bought this fucking thing.
And we had to pawn all of our music gear. That was
you know what
part.
I mean? Like, it was pretty rough there for a minute, man. It was fucking super rough. I remember going to a pawn shop and fucking being like, well, fuck, man. Fuck.
Yeah. The place ate a bunch of samplers, high-end expensive guitar pedals.
Yeah.
Guitar. It ate a lot of shit.
Yeah, it ate a bunch of stuff.
Yeah, and
it ate a bunch of stuff.
That was pretty much how it had gone, man. Like, just it was a sad day, man. That was what dreams can be made of.
There's such big, sometimes in business, dude, there's such big swings. You always got to be prepared for that fucking downswing. And when that upswing fucking hits, you're like, you're riding high and you think everything's fucking going good. And you hit those fucking, I know that isn't a business situation you were in, but you still wind up hitting these fucking swings. You're like, all right, everything's fucking fantastic. Oh, shit, man. Everything ain't that fantastic.
No, man. And then all of a sudden you realize, like, the whole village is on fire and you weren't prepared for it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the situation we were,
kind of faced with.
And it wasn't good, man. It was a trying time, I remember that day when you went back and I'm like, all right, well, here I am on my own.
If you had a chance to do it again, would you have left?
That's a really good question.
Would you have left right then and there?
That exact moment when you left?
Yeah. Knowing what you know now. Or would you have never left?
Today, I would say I would never have left.
But that's with the hindsight.
That's the hindsight. Had you asked me this 3 years ago,
yeah,
I would have definitely said left when you left.
Yeah.
And the only reason I'm saying that really is because life has a way of being situational, and you're very much immersed in your environment and adapting. That's where the strong and the cream of the crop come to the top, and the people who figure it out, you know, and they keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting. Eventually, when they win, they really fucking win. But I can tell you this honestly, about a week and a half after you left, man, it was a harrowing road, man. I had already known this, what the situation I was in was it was on borrowed time. It wasn't going to lead to shit. And I had to keep doing it in order to get money together to even attempt to make any kind of move.
Yeah.
But that's the nature of the type of person I am. I don't perform my best until I am absolutely with my back against the wall. I don't know why that is. I can't just keep good things flowing to greater and greater fruition. But for me, it took me being basically living in a hostel with no income in probably one of the most expensive places in the country to live, and not a person of support system for 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
But you know, that's when you start questioning things and start trying to align with the metaphysical, you know, figuring out who you are and what you're made of, you know, that real digging deep, and, you know, realizing that if this is how it's going to end, you know, you're better off going down fighting than just, you know, laying down and letting life just run you over.
Right.
And I'll never forget that. I had a mutual friend of mine. I won't mention any names. You know, we don't do that around here, but I wish her all the best of luck and happiness with everything. And we had a history of working together a few years prior. But during this difficult time, she became my one and only friend out there.
Yeah.
That really kind of opened my eyes to a few things. And it's a time that I'm really, really grateful for, and that I wish we had maintained contact throughout the years, because we've kind of drifted apart in life and whatever. But this person who didn't know me a fucking thing gave me an act of kindness when I absolutely needed it, and this injection of hope that you know, I wasn't riding on much. You know, that the tank was empty. The emotional, spiritual battery and all of that was just hitting rock bottom, and it was just getting sucked out of me on a day-to-day basis, because, you know, 3 weeks prior, all this with the bed and, you know, you leaving and the business crumbling, this is all the after effect. And I woke up, and I remember this, and I'll never forget this day for the rest of my life, is that I literally had like $130 to my name, and I knew I wasn't going to see another dime for like damn near a month. And I was like bound and determined not to call any of my family members to borrow a few $100 to get through the time. It just was not going to happen. Like, it's not an option. I decided to come out here. I made my bed, and I'm going to lie in it. I'm going to face this head on. And I resorted back to, you know, what I consider one of my skills that has come in and saved my ass in times of extreme need.
A few times.
And this is
a few times.
This has been. You can attest to this, that it has been proven multiple times throughout my life. It may not always work out when I don't need the money. You know what I mean? But
see, that becomes the issue. I think that your game becomes completely different. I'm serious about that. Your mindset becomes completely different when you're not against the wall when it comes to this. And I've seen that multiple times from an outside perspective.
It's an interesting point, bro, because you know, I don't always know what I'm going in, but I woke up and I had this calling inside of me, this voice that was like, you need to go there,
right,
and you need to put it all on the line, because in this given circumstance, right here, right now, this is what has to happen. And I followed that intuition. Where she lived and where I was heading was not far apart. I mean, it was probably a 10-minute drive, 12 minutes. Okay.
yeah,
I'm constantly being reminded and surrounded by my past, and you'll understand as time goes on, and you know what I mean, right? Like,
yeah,
my past was always a visual reminder in this area. So there was a lot of weird psychological things that were going on and being in tune to that. And I just went in, man, and I bought into that tournament. I sat down and I told myself when I walked into that place that there's no fucking way that I am not winning this thing today. I can do this. And I had all these positive self-affirmations when I was absolutely at my most vulnerable, could be fucked, not have money for food later on that day situation. And I went in and I just laid waste to a field of about 300 people.
yeah.
I turned that $100 into about $4,500 in about an 8-hour period.
Right.
I won the tournament, dude. And I'm not saying rely on those kind of things, but it was really weird how things had gone from extremes in such a short period of time.
Right.
And it was like the first taste in my eyes of understanding that things cannot always be good and always be bad forever. They will constantly be in an upswing and downswing, and
Balance.
you have to have a balance in your life. And man, that's kind of what I love about that game, is that there are a lot of people that, it's just. It's hard to describe. It's just a battle. It's like you're attacking them mentally, psychologically, emotionally, financially, egotistically. I mean, it's just such a complex game. And that's what I love about No Limit Texas Hold'em. Shout out to Oceans 13 out in Oceanside, California. You guys have a great fucking poker room. Had a lot of good afternoons there. And I will be playing there again at some point, me and Richie, when we're going to go on our Vallarta trip.
It's true. Yeah.
We're probably going to go up there and play some games. So, man, we'll keep you tuned. We might even do a podcast live from, at the casino, possibly, at the restaurant or whatever.
We were at Ocean's 11 at one point in time, weren't we? Like,
it was
I have
Oceans.
pictures of it.
Is it? I think it's Oceans 13.
It's Ocean's 11.
Is it?
No, it's Ocean's 11.
Oh, my bad,
pictures.
everybody.
I have
Oceans
pictures.
11. Shout out to Oceans 11.
I have pictures.
Yeah.
The
It's right there.
Yeah, the Palomar doesn't exist anymore, does it?
No, Palomar went down, man.
Jesus, that's sad.
I got a lot of friends on Facebook. Shout out to my old school Palomar buddies that I used to play cards with every day. All the dealers, all staff there. Love you guys. You always treated everybody well. Had some great memories. Some fun hands were played in that poker room. It was cool meeting Mike Matasow out there. I met Antonio Fondiari. There's a few other big name people, and just the regulars alone, man, they were real cool, dude. Great tournament structure. It's just kind of sad. That was like a staple of San Diego poker, man. Because if you lived in the city, dude, you were never more than 20, 25 minutes away from being able to sit in on a good game pretty much any day of the week.
It was a very interesting, it was such a very interesting club, because it was just like such a stripped down place. Like they did one thing and they did one thing good. They had poker room. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you went in there, that was all the business. It was a fucking poker room. You know what I mean? There was nothing but, it was just that, a poker room. And you knew it when you walked in. And the eclectic amount of people that were there from all walks of life. You know what I mean? You might be sitting next to a gangster thug, a business tycoon, a professional poker player. You might be sitting down next to somebody who just came in to play some hands because a friend brought him along. You might be sitting down next to anybody. You know what I mean? From all walks of life, and it was a very, very unique poker room in that kind of respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It never felt like you were at a casino.
No.
It never felt like a casino. It just felt
Not at
like,
all.
you know what I mean? It never felt like Ocean's 11 still, it kind of has a casino vibe to it the way it's laid out.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Ocean's 11 definitely has that vibe. But, dude, if you went to Power Mart, it's like, this is just a card room. You know what I mean? Play blackjack on the way in, play blackjack on the way out. You could play your tournament. You knew exactly what you were getting. And then if you left and you won, you could go right down this, like, literally, if you left the fucking parking lot, you made a left and you made an immediate right, there was all the burger and fucking microbreweries. All the burger joints and microbreweries. So if you wanted to celebrate on the way out, like, you literally make a left and you make a right. And then you're doing that. So a great experience for anybody on vacation.
It was a really great structure, dude. Their daily tournament, their $20 buy-in one was just a blast because it was the same fucking 45 or 50 people trying to beat each other's ass every morning. We all made a living at playing poker, and it was fun as hell. I mean, unlimited rebuys and add-ons for the first hour. I mean, dude, you'd get people firing 8-10 bullets at the thing, not even batting an eye, playing crazy, dude. And, you know, but it was like the best ROI tournament you could get in a live setting anywhere in the country because when you took it down, it, you know, first was like $1,300. Like, you could definitely, that's a good turnaround if you're only on one bullet.
On one bullet, $1,300 is $1,300.
Right,
dude, and one bullet's nothing.
And it's nothing. And I mean, I took that one down probably a dozen times over the couple years I was there. I mean, it was not uncommon, and you could, you know, and they always had good cash games, good structures. Man, the people were cool. The waitress staff, they always hooked you up with food. I mean. They had a Roberto's burrito stand next door, which I highly recommend for the breakfast burrito, which was just fire, just amazing. And you'd get one of those and come in and play an early morning tournament, dude, and it would be done by 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You could go about your business, hit the beach, man. And they're like I said, dude, it was kind of a shame that their lease went up. And I guess the city, for whatever reason, didn't renew the licensing or whatever, or however that worked. And they were forced to close shop. It's just kind of sad, man. I miss that joint. I would. It's going to be a staple that is going to be a memory to only people that were really there.
I still have them added on Facebook somewhere.
Me too.
Yeah.
What I used to love about that is that a lot of times when the dealers weren't actually dealing, they could sit in and play.
Right.
So, like, if they dealt you a bad beat and you got a little grudge against so-and-so, it's like, all right, fucker, I'm going to get you in a hand, you know? I'm going to get you back. And you're attacking their money. Because a lot of times they just gamble with their freaking tips. I mean, it was a crazy atmosphere, but you saw a lot of styles.
Fun. Dude, you spent so much time there. I hate to say it. It was like you had a wife that I didn't know about.
Yeah, that's where I really started to grow my game. I mean, that was before video logging and all this information that's up on YouTube as far as studying. Man, it was a lot of trial and error and just really getting in there and getting a grasp for things and trying to, once you locked in a good playing method, maintaining that and repeating the process. That's the hardest part, is the consistency. Because even when the cards and the variants are not working in your favor, not altering your game plan set on base scenario or whatever, or given moment. But yeah, man, that was a part-time hustle I had there the entire time I was there.
Definitely. It's still in your repertoire today.
Because you got to have 3 jobs to survive in San Diego.
Shit, it's almost where you have to have 3 jobs to survive anywhere. I mean, you definitely have to have 3 jobs to say. You almost have to be like those characters on the fucking. You remember Damon Wayans and like on Living Color, They'd be like,
Yeah.
you got 2 jobs and I got 5 jobs. You know what I mean? Like they ran an airport, fucking, like they're like on an airplane or something like that. Like I got a job being a pilot. I got a job being a stewardess. I got a job being a. You ever seen that? You remember that from back in the day? It's like,
I don't
dude,
think I've seen that skit.
dude, that skit on In Living Color back in the day was fucking hilarious because it was literally like all the Wayne's family like together in the same skit, like with Keenan. He wrote the thing, and it's like, dude, they're talking about how many jobs you have to survive. You know, like you're lazy. You only have 2 jobs. You know, you have 2 jobs. I have 5 jobs. And like they're Jamaicans.
Right.
And it was fucking hilarious skit back in the day. But yeah, man, like that's what America's becoming. Like you either have to take a salary job in which they're gonna work you like you have at least 3 jobs.
Right.
You know, they're gonna rape you. Sorry if anyone's offended by the word rape, but I think it's pretty suiting. But yeah, like that's what it is anymore. Like even with people with well-to-do jobs. Think, you work literally 2 jobs, 2 actual jobs, and you play poker on top of it.
Yes.
So basically 3 jobs to try to
Yes.
maintain
A trajectory of growth.
Yeah.
I could have lived and survived on 2, but there was no leveling up.
Yeah.
You know, when you don't have certain backings, you know, you do what you got to do, right? You know, it's adapting and overcoming. It's about sucking it up and not letting the situation break you and developing a way for you to make it. And that's what I did.
Right.
And I'll tell you, you know, about a couple months after you took off, dude, things took a really interesting turn. You know, the life there changed dramatically. And I think that we could save that for another episode because that's a whole nother can of worms.
Well, it was for better and for worse.
That's true.
It was both. You know, that some of us don't really realize that in life, but a lot of things that like something makes something better, there's a possibility you're not looking at every facet and it made some things worse. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm not going to get into that because that's for us to tell in a later tale. You know? Man, where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? What's next? I mean, I feel like I have another beer in the fridge.
It's a good deal.
You know?
It's a good deal.
What are you guys thinking? I mean, I wish you were on the phone with us and had this conversation because it's just our 2 knucklehead thoughts and our experiences. But, you know, I don't want this to be like a thing where it's just not involving other people. You know?
I think I'm going to reach out to a couple authors I know in the next like week or so. Well, and I suggest like you start reaching out to some people that you would want on, and we're gonna have to we'll get them on. You know what I mean? We'll make it work. We'll talk about that, the 2 of us. You know, when we get off the air.
For sure.
You know, we'll discuss that and like the kind of people we actually want to on. And
why don't you guys do us this a favor, man? Down in the comments below, why don't you go ahead and leave some ideas of some people you'd want us to have a chit chat with, man? We're open to suggestions, dude. This is pretty much still the beginning phase of what we're going to be doing for a long time, and you know, I guess what do we kind of agree on? We're going to try to get 3 in a week. 3 episodes?
2 to 3 episodes a week.
2 to 3, okay. So,
you know?
yeah, I mean, depending on people's schedules and stuff, and, you know, we're just going to make this thing grow, man. It's going to be wild.
Know, I'm going to get together a business line to get a hold of this. I'm gonna pay for another phone line. I'm going to pay
Google Voice.
Either Google Voice or I'll just get another I'll get like a track phone. and then
Cool.
like on cheap, you know what I mean? Just like based on minutes, not something I'm going to be on the phone for hours about, just to kind of handle and regulate kind of some of these calls. But if you guys are interested in this, you know what I mean? If you guys are interested in being a part of this, being a guest, if you're interested in especially if you have something going on, you know, I prefer to have people on the show that like, okay, I got a book that's coming up, and like I can help you promote that at the end of the show. I think that's a way better format than just. I mean, it's cool. Like if like we're gonna have like a really cool like situation, like we're gonna have a really great conversation. That's awesome. But especially if you have something coming up to promote, I'd love to be a part of that. I think Jimmy would like to be a part of that too, to where we could help you promote, like you know, what you have going on in your life. That way we can, you know, there's a possibility you have a podcast in the future, and the same thing happens. You know what I mean? Like we got something coming up, some kind of event, and it makes it like a better priority because, you know, none of us have all the time in the world. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take advantage of things when the strike while the iron's hot. You know what I mean? Strike when the iron's hot. What I'm kind of getting at. Fucking beat the shit out of it when it's hot.
Definitely. All right, guys. Well, raise up your glasses, man. We're gonna have a closing for this.
Yep.
You know, hey, it was good talking to everybody. Hope you were entertained at the very least. At you know our collective. I don't know. What do you want to call it? Life experience?
Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Dude, everything in life is about storytelling and life experience and fucking entertaining each other. I think telling story is such an art form to me, you know.
I want to close with one thought. You know, you asked me earlier today if I had any regrets about all that. You know, I actually now just realized my biggest fucking regret about the whole San Diego debacle.
What is it?
I should have taken that passed out girl and nicely put her on the floor.
Yeah. Oh, that
because
might be
I still would have had a bet at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And at least I would have had that.
Oh, dude, and you would have been you know, I mean, nothing happened, but in the gentleman's corner, you could have been like, well, we're not together, and you have a boyfriend.
Right.
I gave you a pillow and put you on the floor.
Right. That's what I should have done. Wanted it there. All right, guys, have a good night. It was good talking to you. We'll see you soon. Cheers.
All right, cheers. Love you guys, man. Have a great night. Hey, leave your comments. Don't forget to subscribe and like. And hey, we'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.
Peace.